So I had a question, how do I work with equations in Adobe Illustrator? So these would be equations that you might encounter whenever you download a paper, or maybe you've written your own paper and you have an equation and you want to transfer that equation that you wrote in Word, you want to transfer it into Adobe Illustrator. Now they also mentioned a program called LaTeX or LaTeX language. I haven't worked a lot with LaTeX programming or that language at all, so I'm not going to speak on that. However, it should work the same. If in LaTeX, you might be able to save it as a PDF, and then from PDF, we're going to use that as the bridge between either Word or LaTeX to transport it into Adobe Illustrator. So Word is not, they typically are not very friendly with Adobe Illustrator, so they don't try to be as compatible as they certainly could be. So you won't be able, so if I have a paper here that I've written in Word and I have an equation right here, I could not copy this over into Adobe Illustrator. So if I were to copy this equation, Control C, and then I go File, New, just to show you kind of the problem that you might encounter, type in Control V. If I were to zoom in, you can see that this doesn't look anything like the original equation. And I think this is almost on purpose because these historically these companies don't like they don't make themselves cross-compatible. So what you would need to do is transfer this into a PDF. So let's start from the example of I'm online, I have this paper here, and I want to download the PDF. When I download the PDF, it looks something like that. And so now I have this PDF. Let me just open up, and you can do this for many papers. You can just open this PDF document in Adobe Illustrator. So I can go, let me cancel out of this. I don't want to say that. So I'm going to go File, Open, and I'm going to go down to this file here. This, just so you know, this is the PDF file that I downloaded, and I'm going to type in page 29 because that's where an equation was. I'm going to click OK, and it's going to say that it did not find some of that font, so it's going to replace it with kind of a box. So let me show you what this looks like. So you can see it almost got the equation, but it's missing a lot of the components. So this is certainly not what we want. And I think it's interesting that the PDF, although it's visible in PDF, it can't be read equally in Adobe Illustrator. I mean, those Adobe PDF should be 100% compatible with Adobe Illustrator. Why it's not is beyond me. But there's a workaround. So you can go File, you can export to encapsulated PostScript. Okay. So if I click on that, and I've already done that, but if you click Save, I'm going to just say yes to all. It's replacing everything. So what it's doing is it's saving each and every single page as an EPS file. Now EPS is 100% compatible with Adobe Illustrator. So I'm going to go File, Open, and I'm going to find page 29 right here. And you'll see that it correctly copied this equation. Now what it did is it's not as a text file, so you wouldn't be able to edit it. What an EPS file is basically it's just a vector format, a vector imaging format. So it basically took a screenshot of the PDF and converted it into a vector format. And that vector format, EPS, is a widely compatible format. So I'm going to ungroup this. And so now I'll be able to specifically select that equation. Now again, you can't, there's no ability to edit this equation. I mean, it's basically just a bunch of shapes that's collected together. That's, and to my knowledge, the best way to work with equations in Adobe Illustrator. You can see that it has the nice, beautiful resolution that you're looking for.